been a good weekend for the flag shaggers. The patriotic scenes across the length and breadth of this land have been a sight to behold. The flags adorning people's houses and flats, shops, pubs, cars, vans and public buildings is a sign that we can once again dare to love our country. With street parties across all four parts of the United Kingdom, national pride is writ large across every conceivable community, religion, social class and ethnic background. Apart from a few Britain-hating politicians and some in the media who can't stand this place, the people, by and large, came together to celebrate not just our remarkable monarch and her 7 decades on the throne, but they came together to celebrate Britain. The Union flag, once potentially a divisive symbol appropriated by the hard right, who represent almost no one, the Union flag is once again a symbol for all of us, of our pride, our community and our togetherness. The joyous celebrations this weekend will irritate those who love to talk this country down, like politicians moaning about the flags on Regent Street in London, and the handful of numpties on social media likening those gorgeous flags to Nazi Germany. It's my view that most of those people so repulsed by the Union flag are Remain lunatics who still haven't got over Brexit. Except that these flag-hating turncoats are more than happy to put flags on their Twitter bio, especially if it's a flag of the EU. Too many politicians and commentators want to create division with identity politics, which separates society into small groups, setting one group against another and creating tribes whose toxic, intolerant message can be amplified on social media. We've got LGBTQ+, we've got disabled people, we've got BAME people, trans, non-binary, men with vaginas, women with penises. We've got so-called gammons and Karens. We've got Brexiteers and Remainers. We've got woke and unwoke, lefties and right-wingers. We've got Tories, we've got Labour. We've got black, we've got white and everything in between. And it's an industry for many in politics and within corporations, in our public institutions and in the media, to keep those groups divided. But the inconvenient truth is that divided we are not. We are in fact united by one thing and one thing alone, by being Brits, which is why the flag is so important, as it is for any self-respecting country. I'm hugely patriotic and always have been. My parents came to the United Kingdom in the early 60s from rural Ireland and made a family and a life here. So I'm deeply grateful for Britain. And I guess you could say I have a level of patriotic zeal which is unique to immigrants. There is an important distinction between patriotism and nationalism. Nationalism, as any historian will tell you, is a negative force that says your country is superior and by definition wishes ill upon its neighbours. Patriotism is different. It's positive. Patriotism is a celebration of a country, its history, its people and its values. In the case of Britain, what are those values? Well, tolerance, diversity, open-mindedness, aspiration, decency and integrity. That the Jubilee has seemingly almost single-handedly united the country in a way no sporting event like the World Cup or Euros could, demonstrates just how important our monarchy is. To have a non-political figure at the heart of our constitution will always unite rather than divide. The Americans have a messy situation, apologies Kinsey, in which their head of state is also their head of government, all in the form of the president. We can give our head of government, the Prime Minister, absolute hell on a daily basis, and we do, whilst liking and admiring our head of state, the King or Queen. It's healthy that way round. Just in case you think that wrapping yourself in the flag and being patriotic is a bad thing, take a look at Ukraine, for whom patriotism is binding that country together at a time of crisis, and which will, I believe, ultimately defeat Putin. Countries are only successful when they are united. And after the last few days, it has cheered my soul to see how united the United Kingdom actually is. And watching people coming together, huddled around tables at street parties and in packed bars and restaurants, it looks like this Jubilee has put a full stop on the pandemic too. The last few days has been a reminder of what we've been missing for so long now. And this Jubilee feels like a return to normal and hopefully an agreed resolution that we will never replicate the madness of the last 2 years ever again. There are still a few people outdoors in masks. Good luck to them. It's a free country. I just liken them to the Japanese soldiers who were still fighting the Second World War in the 1960s. This year's Jubilee feels like a moment in our history and a chance in a whole variety of ways, post-pandemic and post-Brexit, to move on and to move on together. Probe and challenge what your country does, absolutely, and learn from its mistakes and crimes, including the horrors of war and slavery. No country has a spotless record, but Britain, let me tell you, is not short on glory. Our history is an amazing one and not to be unilaterally apologised for. I think patriotism and pride in your country should be taught in schools. The Michaela Community State School in Wembley is an amazing place. It's in a deprived part of the capital with a majority of ethnic students. It's a huge success story and a brilliant place which is transforming the lives of its students. Under the leadership of strict headmistress Catherine Burble-Singh, Britain's strictest headmistress, they say, the pupils celebrate Britain as part of their school day every day. They remind all of these wonderful children at the school that they are all British and to celebrate that. So to all of you watching this programme, whoever you are, wherever you come from, whichever God you worship, and whatever the colour of your skin, this is your country, and your country needs you. It's time for the United Kingdom and all of its amazing people to once again unite. And if we do that, then for Britain, the best is yet to come.